Hi, I'm Scott Joseph. I am the director of the upcoming show in October of Bram Stoker's Dracula by Eric Cushing. So, what I would like to talk about is it's the typical Dracula script, but what makes this different is that all the characters are in it from the novel. So, one that's always cut out is Quincy Morris, which is the Texan that is always cut out of every script I think I've ever read. So, what I'm thinking about for my vision of Dracula is that I have music already lined up, which is a band called Nox Arcana. I've used them before in the past. We've done them here at ESR. We've used them. They are technically just a synth, like a synth type instrumental music, but very dark, which is the themes that they follow. But one thing that I'm looking at too for this show is that I'm also looking at not all. What I guess the word I'm trying to look for is that Dracula doesn't have to be male. Van Helsing doesn't have to be male. It depends on who auditions. I am looking at basically, as they say, gender bending the roles. So that instead of Count Dracula, it's going to be Countess Dracula or Countess Camilla Dracula, which is another actually vampire before Bram Stoker's Dracula. So this script, which is nice, is that we are allowed to make changes to what we need to fit us. So there might be things, because this basically follows the novel. So there might be scenes that just don't flow right for us, so I can cut them. There's other scenes that I can enhance, and which I plan on doing. It is a dark theme, obviously, because it is Dracula. It will be spooky. It'll be scary. It will have blood. It will have jump scares. It will have everything that I think that a show of this caliber, which is a scary show for October, will draw in the crowds. But what I'm looking for is I'm looking to fill these parts that is coming up. So our first auditions are this Sunday, and then the second round of auditions are next Tuesday. So what I would like to do, there is about 27 characters in this script. Not all of them it might be filled because of us cutting certain characters, but also making doubled up. What we have is Dracula, a 70 plus, but just it's a cast of one person, just makeup, age makeup. Then Dracula 30 to 40, 35 to 40, age varies. It's a vampire. So we've got Jonathan Harker, 35, with an English accent. We've got Mina Murray, which is 27. We've got Lucy Westerna, which is 25. Dr. Seward, 30. Mr. Swales, which is a new character that's in the novel, that's in this one, is 70-ish. We've got Quincy Morris, which I mentioned before, which is 37. Dr. Van Helsing, which is 60. Arthur Holmwood, which is 30. Jenica, and I'm going to butcher these names because they are Romanian, and but they are Jenica Merituza and I can't pronounce it, but it's but these are the ones I'm mentioning are the vixens, the vampire brides. A Romani woman, captain of the Demeter. Alexandru, which is part of the Demeter. Ovidiu is part of the Demeter. There's a sister Agatha. There's obviously, you can't miss this one, Renfield. Lucy's mother, Mrs. Westerna. Then there's other various characters like a housekeeper and some other various characters. But what is also interesting and what I was going to do is that any character that's of Romani descent in this character, in this script, is that it is also written in Romanian. So there are scenes at the end of the show that have some of the Romani, they can speak either English or Romanian, and I wanted to have a little mixture of both. Just a little bit of Romanian language to give it that feel of you're there. So, but yeah, this is always a fun show to do, but this is a new version, which I'm excited to be able to show to everybody. So please, please, please come in and audition for us this Sunday and next Tuesday, and hopefully, we will see you there. So, as a director, I work on a lot of characters development. That's one of my big things. I actually have homework for the actors that is a character sheet that they fill out. Although these characters, like most of the characters, are either in literature or whatever, throughout history, this is important to me, and I find it important to the actors, because even though these are defined by a novel, you still got to find how you want to play that character. So when we do our exercises of filling out your character development sheet, I'll ask questions, but I also love to watch the actors grow. As we grow and go through our process, we all become like a big, close family. And I'm always, as a director, I am open to suggestions. I'm not one of those directors that it's my way or the highway. It's always an open forum, because sometimes I might miss something. You might have a better idea than me, and you never know. I always take suggestions. I never not take suggestions. But I love to bring our cast together and work together as one big unit. And we all, have a tendency to do that when we get a group together. And most of us are always on stage together, so you never know. I might, as a director, might have to put myself in my own show, which I do not like doing, but it happens every once in a while.
Or July
or
whatever,
gotcha.
So people have a...
Gotcha. So probably about within a month or so, because we have time. That's what the nice thing about this is, we have some time. We have until, we open in October, but we have a little bit of time. So probably once the auditions are done, I would probably cast it. We would probably sit down sometime in maybe June, early July. We would sit down and do a table read. And then we would then start scheduling our rehearsals. Right now, I have to look, but I think they might be Mondays and Wednesdays from like 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, or a little bit after, depending on everybody's schedule. I do try to work everybody's schedule together. I do not, if you're not called to that day, I will let people know. So you don't have to make the trek and not have to do anything. But you're always welcome to come see the process and what's going on. As far as what we do, that's part of my plan, is to get together as soon as possible. Like I said, probably middle of June, July, just to go over the script. And then we'll start having our rehearsals. It's like I said, we got a little bit of time to get things through. Our set construction will happen. It'll happen later on, obviously, but it'll happen probably in the end of September. Around September, when the set will go up, we'll spend a couple days, get the set up, and then we'll have it. I like to have up my set as soon as possible when I can. So yes, that's my process of having the first. So our performance dates for Dracula will be October 3rd, that weekend, the following weekend, and then the third weekend we close on the 19th of October. Those who have auditioned for us here at ESR understand the audition process. If you've never been here, even if you have been here, we all get nervous when we audition. I'm no exception. But what it is that there'll be usually there's a panel of maybe like 3 or 4, sometimes depending on what the show is. There's only going to be 2 this time, maybe. There might be a musical director with us too, but we just ask that you come in. If you're nervous, we understand. You just come in, introduce yourselves, we introduce ourselves, and then we ask you to read a monologue if you have one. A cold read is acceptable, but we prefer a monologue if possible. One dramatic and one comedic. And if you're obviously going to audition for a musical, then Regina will have you probably sing a little bit. You know, I think that's what you probably have to do.
No singing for Dracula?
No, this isn't Dracula the musical, although there are a couple of them. So